Welcome, comrades, to the launch of the LB Street Show, the first episode. This is on my YouTube channel. I hope that you can hit that subscribe button, sign up for them notifications so you can stay updated. I'm going to be pushing out content regularly. Today's show, we're going to talk about the sentence that Brittany GRINER got at 9 years from China. Not so much as directed towards Miss GRINER, but just in relation to what happens every day in the United States. So let's get it. So more or less, we're talking about the 9 years that was given to Brittany GRINER in China for bringing in marijuana derivatives. So many people are so, shall we say, offended and are in shock. You know, when I look at news reporters and other pundits, we have people that don't believe this type of thing can happen in the United States. Well, it happens every day. There's good men right now behind that G-wall, who they got hit with 9 years, 10 years, more than that for the same thing. Derivatives, weed, whatever. You know what happens all the time. This cat's laid back right now behind that wall who ain't never coming home. At least Miss GRINER is getting ready to get a prisoner swap release. From all accounts, she'll be out in the next few months. This dude's been down since the 90s or 2000s, and keeping it pushing for weed, for marijuana, or for minuscule amounts of cocaine, or shall they say cocaine base, aka crack. Being familiar with the system, knowing how it operates, knowing the type of games they play. The criminal justice system is what I'm talking about. Just for those who's not familiar with the situation and with how they operate. Yeah, so basically, I'm just here to let y'all know that, it ain't only China. China don't have as many people locked up as the United States, the quote-unquote land of the free. Now, don't get me wrong, I stand up for the country because my ancestors died and bled building this country. So I claim it, of course. My blood run through the soil of this country, through this turf. So I claim it. But the people who's operating it, the institutions, I don't co-sign a lot of that. So, you could definitely disagree with the people in power making these decisions and still stand up for the country as in the United States. But getting back to the point, this country right now, it's crazy that, we always hear about what these other countries are doing, or what Russia did, how much time Russia giving people, or how much time Iran is giving people, or North Korea. Hold on. They giving out draconian sentences right here in the United States. They giving cats life sentences for a gram of crack. Then, of course, they're going to try to utilize an individual's criminal record, or history, quote unquote, to justify it. But you can't justify finishing a man's life over a small amount of a chemical that he didn't force anybody to take, he didn't poison anybody to take, that he's trying to, live according to the real rules of capitalism, whether it's a mistake or not. You going to justify giving that man 20 or 30, 40 years in prison for a gram of crack or marijuana, a pound, whatever? It's unjustifiable, but they do it every day. They'll tell you about relevant conduct. That's the feds' way of speaking, where they, just bring in a lot of shit you ain't been found guilty of. Yeah, it's crazy. But I just look at it and I see the hypocrisy in it, and I'm offended by it. So, I thought I would definitely make that a topic for the show today. That we need to understand that we have individuals right now who's laid up behind them walls who's trying to get out. They got kids, they got wives, they got husbands for the females, family members that's waiting on them to come out. Just like Miss GRINER, The only thing they don't have, that she's blessed to have, is heavyweight politicians standing behind her and celebrities standing behind her, And she ain't been down, 4 or 5 months? Something like that. These cats been down 10 years, 15 years. Ain't nobody speaking up for them. So like I promised from the initial introduction, I'm always going to speak against oppression. I'm always going to fight oppression. I'm going to expose those that are the oppressors, and let the peoples know, my comrades, know what's really taking place here. So that's what I'm doing today, That's what the show is about today. You give these individuals all this time, they didn't kill anybody. They're not even kingpins. They're not even half kingpins. I see them give crackheads a whole gang of time. These individuals are smoking and getting a whole bunch of time. It's just ridiculous, 10, 9, 12, 13, 15 years. That's everyday type sentences right there. We ain't even talk about the 20s and the 30s or the life. Oh, this your third felony. Now, the thing you got to realize about felonies being used against you, as far as from a historical perspective, they don't care what them felonies are about. Most times, those old felonies, a lot of times, you could have been 16 years old, 17 years old, and they had you hostage to the point where you might have been in prison 2, 3 years. Can't get bonded out. You don't got enough to bond out if you got a bond. And basically, they use that time against you to make you cop a plea and take a sentence of probation. Even if they know they don't got the evidence to take you to trial, they won't let the trial proceed. They'll keep getting postponements just to stretch it out to get you to cop out. I've done it. I've seen many people do it. I've seen an individual on the island, on Rikers Island, for 7 years before he was able to get a trial. 7 years. And many times they came to him telling him, listen, just take a plea, plead guilty, and we'll release you with time served right now. But he just wouldn't go for taking that guilty plea. They kept that man in there 7 years, so they had to do something. 7 years. He did a whole bid without being guilty of anything. So the point is, we're living in a country where these abuses of liberty is taking place every day. And we're worrying about China. We're worrying about Russia. America has about, 5% of the population? But over 25% of the population of people that's in prison in the world. What's wrong with that picture? And it's supposed to be the land of the free. America's become a police state, where the police and the police organizations, the unions, the federal workers, the federal government, not so much as your regular commonplace workers. I'm talking about quote unquote law enforcement. They push for these things. They push to have tougher laws. This is job security, more prisons, more lawyers, you know. Then we not even talking about the private part of it, private prisons, CCA, and those and that bunch right there. That's a whole nother show. But yeah, I just wanted to hit the peoples to the fact that we dealing with the things that Brittany Griner's dealing with right now in China. Yeah, we dealing with that every day though, right here in the United States of America. And the reason we dealing with it is because so many people just turn a blind eye to it because they feel that we're in the home of the free. So they don't, they don't just they just don't think things like that happen here. They blind to it. I just see it as people not wanting to see what they don't like to see. And they seeing things that they want to see somewhere else. So they turn a blind eye to it here because it could get messy. That's where they live. But they say they expose it when it's in China because everybody know that China's shall we say, a dictatorship. It's ran by bad people, quote unquote, or Russia. I just want to hip y'all to what's going on right here. Don't let these people pull a wool over your eyes. We battling right here. It's a lot of good men that's left behind them G walls. If they don't got nobody to speak for them, then what? I'm gonna speak for them. I'm gonna do that as much as I can. The pressers on my line don't want me out here, don't want me doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna do it anyway. I appreciate y'all support. I appreciate you if you like this video. Subscribe. Let a friend know. Tell them to, let their friends know. We're trying to get this channel shaking so we can get this information out to you. We're gonna have some other things going on too. Just give me a minute, Just give me a minute. We're taking this day by day. To all my comrades, stay safe in the field. Peace.